Welcome back, folks. Beer Freaks.
What's up?
Here we are, another edition.
Another edition. Another day, another beer.
Behind Derek's new bar.
That will be drank. Yes. It's coming along. It's coming along.
Well built, man. Well built. I would put my 3-year-old child on here and not be afraid.
No, I wouldn't either. I'd stand. Oh, no, I wouldn't stand on this. 3-year-old. Cool. Yeah.
3-year-old?
Yep.
So you think like 30, 40 pounds?
Maybe not on this side. Maybe on this side.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll deal with that later. We'll risk assess my child's life later. We'll figure that out. To start, though, guys, we're really, really excited. We've had some amazing guests in the past, but this time we have an actual owner and brewer of a local Las Vegas brewery, Astronomy Aleworks.
Yes.
Matt Brady is going to be joining us.
I'm stoked, man.
So, dude, this is literally like getting the guy who makes us happy.
Yeah.
He makes the stuff that makes us forget the things that freak us out.
He's like the Mr. Rogers of beer.
I was going to go with like the Willy Wonka.
Wonka beer. I like that too.
So anyway, Derek, let's let it roll. Hi, my name is Stu Hawk, and this is my podcast about all the weird, crazy, spooky things that scare me and my guests, and the one thing that helps us forget all about them. Ladies and gentlemen, Beer Freaks. Matt, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So first of all, I got to ask you, what's your favorite astronomy brew?
Kolsch Ale. Our Kolsch is great. Yeah,
Really?
Speed of Light Kolsch.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, rock and roll.
Yeah, that's my favorite. It's what I drink the most of.
Now, you and I had a conversation earlier today when I stopped by the brewery, and you said what was the most popular brew that you had?
Most popular is the Hawking Hazy Pale Ale.
Hawking. I saw that all around town as soon as you guys came out.
Yeah. We designed that as a kind of inexpensive alternative to a New England IPA. So it's got 100% mosaic hops, mostly late edition. We used to put lactose in it. Now we don't. And it's just a really easy drinking 5% pale ale that has a lot of the characteristics of a New England IPA without so much of the alcohol. And it's a more affordable alternative to bars and patrons.
Love it.
That's actually really neat.
Well, the Hawking Hazy, I got to tell you, it was like it was the first astronomy that I had. I think I had it at World of Beer, which really boned me out.
That place.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to employ one of their people after they quit. Freddie, she was my bartender for a long time. Okay. She just moved to Michigan about a month and a half ago, but she was one of the original World of Beer people. So yeah,
what a great
that place was awesome.
Yeah, I was so bummed when it closed. Well,
I'm so excited.
Well, Derek is too excited, so we're just jumping into the damn beer.
How many times do you get to really like drink the beer with, the owner of the brewer?
The guy who makes it?
It's awesome.
The guy who's responsible for it? Okay, well, Matt, while Derek's pouring the beer, because he can't wait anymore, can you tell us a little bit about the Citra Rye that we're tasting, or that we're about to taste?
Absolutely. This is a Citra Rye IPA, and we did. So this beer actually came about because of the demise of Joseph James. Those are good friends of mine, and when they fell apart, I went up and I bought them out of their Citra hop blend. And I actually employ one of their former brewers right now, Patrick Wong. Okay. He is now my head brewer. This is my recipe, and he brewed this beer, but it's my recipe. I brewed the first batch of it. Originally, it was a pale ale, and it was kind of honestly, I made it to make fun of their former head brewer, Kyle, because I bought all the Citra. I was like, I want to make a pale ale out of it. He's like, great. And I saw that I had a half a bag of rye over there, and I'm like, took a picture of him and said, I'm going to do this. He goes, don't you fucking dare. I'm like, I'm doing it. And so I made it, and I showed him the recipe wasn't the same. He came down and tasted it. It's not his Citra Rye beer because he's become Juxta Nomad, and Juxta Nomad is eventually going to brew this beer somewhere. His Citra Rye that used to be at Joseph James. So it's not the same beer, and I bumped it up to IPA levels because this is going to be our first canning run coming out next month sometime. The cans arrive in about a week from now. We brewed the beer that's going in those cans yesterday.
Wow.
So,
man.
so it's going to be super fresh. It's going to go in there. It's going to be available at least at Corey's, Speedy Mart, Beer Zombies, and 595 Craft and Kitchen.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 people in the Valley who really do the most for craft beer. I can't say enough about Speedy Mart.
Speedy Mart.
That's the craziest thing to me.
Speedy Mart's great. Paul is just the man. Beer Zombies, Chris has just been a dear friend of mine throughout this. Him and I have exchanged a lot of information. He's amazing. Van from 595, very early supporter of ours, still a supporter. Great dude. And Issa Corey over at Corey's. Yes. I've known him for almost a decade right now. And he is just amazing. So those 4 people, I talked to my distributor, they have to get the beer. Other than that, I said, whatever's left, ship. I don't care where you sell it. I mean, why would I care? So this beer is 6.7%, about 70 IBU. Citra is not the primary hop for bittering. That's Columbus. There's a little bit of Amarillo, but all the Citra comes in at the end. We put it right at the end of the boil. We put it in all the dry hops, so you get the great Citra aroma. You get all the Citra flavor, but it's got a very deep bitter background, which separates it from the Joseph James beer. Because, I love those guys, and I did it kind of as a tribute, but I don't want to stand on their shoulders. I wanted to make my own beer. Everybody says it's like, they all say, oh, you've got the ex-Joseph James brewer. Was this his idea? And actually, technically, it was Cameron from Craft House who helped me design this recipe.
Really?
not Patrick or Kyle.
That's cool.
So,
you know what?
Cheers.
Yes, cheers. And while we drink, by the way, I just want to say, and that's really good. That is really good. That's my first sip of the Citra Rye, and I did like the Joseph James Citra Rye.
That's a really good.
And,
this is way darker. It's way danker.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's a different beer. It's a completely different beer.
But you know what? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I hate to cut you off because you're actually getting into the actual meat of this whole thing. But I just wanted to tell you, because you talked about Craft House, you talked about Joseph James. I got to tell you, one of my favorite things about astronomy that really has impressed me from day one is that you guys have been so about the beer community in Las Vegas since day one. Since day one. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I follow you guys on Instagram. I follow you guys on Facebook. You guys post that you're drinking a beer at Craft House, or that you're drinking a beer at Bad Beat, or that you're drinking a beer at Big Dogs. You're sharing the events that the community is doing. It's not just like all about astronomy. It's about, look, this is the Vegas community, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
I'm really into that, because one of the best ways I heard described about, like, are you guys competitors and whatnot? And somebody said, no, local beer doesn't compete against itself. We're competing against Bud Miller Coors. That's who we're competing against.
Like that.
It's the high tide raises all boats.
Yes.
The
my
more
favorite phrase for this. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The more I go to Craft House, the more people see beer in Vegas. I don't care who sees it. I mean, right now they've got more Instagram followers than I do. So if I tag them, one of their Instagram followers is going to see, oh, more beer in Vegas, beer in Vegas, beer in Vegas, beer in Vegas. Until we become like San Diego. Once we become like San Diego, I ain't helping those motherfuckers out.
Yes. Right? Yep.
I'm not drinking to their place again. No, I also enjoy everybody's beer. I mean, I didn't get into this because I'm going to be a millionaire. I just love beer. I love making beer. I love drinking beer. So why would I stop drinking other people's beer? Why would I stop? I used to do this, on my Facebook page way back when. So why would I stop advertising other people's beer? Why would I say that I'm not at some place? I love their beer. I still love their beer. I love it. I can find something good to say about every single brewery in this place. And a lot of them are my friends,
No, see, that's really cool, because it's a collaboration. I mean, it's an art. Like, the arts is just a big collaboration between everybody. You kind of get ideas. You
Absolutely.
Talk to people,
and we all work together. Like a lot, I got to give Craft House props. A lot, some of the beers I make, I use their yeast. I mean, Cameron will hit me up. He's the head brewer over there, and he'll say, hey, you need something like this. My very first lager, you're going to have the Marzen lager. That was a red ale. It became a red lager when he said, hey, I got lager yeast I'm not using. You want it? Yeah. And I was about to brew the red ale, and I guess it's a lager now, things like that. Anytime they need something, you need a bag of this? Cool, So it's better to work together.
I got to say, I think it's hard to imagine for people who don't work in an industry like yours to say, like, because you are competitors, and again, I mean this in the best possible way, but because I truly believe exactly what you said. A rising tide raises all ships in the brewery industry. But I think if you're not in the brewing industry, maybe the restaurant industry, but certainly not.
No, that's pretty cutthroat.
No.
But yeah, breweries, local breweries, we all pretty much get along. We all work together. We're all friends. So,
I think it's
pretty
one
fun.
Of the few. It's got to be one of the few industries where
it's got to be one of the few. I can't imagine. I don't know if there's a lot that do it this way.
Nothing immediately.
You're
comes
absolutely
to
right.
mind.
No, nothing comes to mind for me either.
Well, you're
where
in
everybody gets along and works together.
Yeah, you're all in it to make good beer.
Yeah.
So you
and again,
together.
part of it is because we're all, no matter what we do, small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the benefit of being able to work in together. If Bud Miller Coors dropped off the face of the earth tomorrow, I would not get along with Craft House.
You're like, no,
okay,
no more.
Yeah, so that's perspective.
Because then we'd have a real shot at the market, and so would they.
Yes.
Because we're so small, it's like, why would you fight amongst each other? Everybody work together. Everybody, be nice. Make beer as good as possible, because that's how we're going to make our money. Mm-hmm. Trying to steal customers away from Budweiser. And I can't even hate Budweiser too much. I mean, you've seen my beer out there. Mm-hmm. That means it's distributed. Who distributes my beer? The same guys who distribute Budweiser. So if it weren't for Budweiser, I wouldn't be out there. So a little bit of my soul is already gone.
It's a little bit out there.
Catch-22.
We're not allowed to self-distribute in the state. So
really?
That's right. So Southern Wine and Spirits, right? That's the whole. Is that the whole deal, or?
Well, I've heard them attributed.
You don't have to give away
the
any
law
trade
exists.
secrets here.
No. I've heard them attributed, but that's way before my thing. But it doesn't matter.
And the other thing too that I do think really helps bring, I think, the beer industry together too, is like when you talk about the rising tide again, to reference that, your competitors outside of beer, which are actually probably even fiercer in certain ways, the wine industry, the alcohol industry,
the liquor industry, yeah,
the liquor industry. So like, clearly there's been this gigantic surge of the craft beer, lifestyle since, probably the 90s. Really slow ramp up.
So quick breakdown. In the 90s, it went huge, and then it deflated, and then it picked up again about a decade ago. So for instance, why do you have the term craft beer? Remember when it used to be microbreweries?
Microbrews, that's right. Nano breweries.
Well, craft beer was a term that was basically invented to replace microbrewery, because microbrewery got a negative connotation, because when I wasn't around then, but when Brew tried to go big with all the microbreweries, that's great. A lot of them sucked though. And that's why it deflated. That's why it went back down again. And it's risen back up, but people are better brewers now. There's better equipment now. Yeah. Everybody in the industry learned from their previous mistakes, but there's still this kind of stigma with the term microbrewery, which is why craft beer came up. It means exactly the same thing. But that's why people say craft beer instead of microbrewery, because you never hear microbrewery anymore, except for some dude who's drinking beer in the 90s from Red Hook or Pyramid or Pete's Wicked Ale or whatnot. Yeah.
Oh, Craft Hook.
Yeah.
My rule on drinking stuff like that, somebody hands me one, I'm not going to turn it down. So somebody gives me a Bourbon County Stout.
You don't waste beer.
Yeah, I'll drink it because it tastes fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it because it's putting money in the hands of the enemy. On the other hand, somebody gives it to me. Yeah.
Sure.
It's not about the quality of the beer at that point, because, and I'm sure a lot of people say, oh, there's so many better. Yeah, there are. Okay, fine. But it's still good. Golden Road, they're a good brewery. They make good stuff.
That's a great example.
I love their
except
TV
they're
show.
owned by Budweiser. They're 100% owned by Budweiser.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't ever buy their stuff. Somebody hands me one. Yeah, I'll drink it.
Wait. Well, let me ask you, are you making any Christmas stuff?
Or pumpkin stuff?
Okay, that's two questions. Are we making a Christmas ale? Probably. Okay, so my brewer, Patrick Wong, we call him P. Wong. P. Wong wants to do a citrus or a spruce tip beer, and kind of Christmassy, and I said, go for it. So
all right. Nice.
Probably going to brew that in early November for Christmas time, kind of thing. Are we doing a pumpkin beer? Yes and no. So you're about to have the Marzen, and the Marzen, we overbrewed it in order to keep a couple kegs aside, and we're going to put some pumpkin spice into it and turn that into a pumpkin spice beer, because it's a similar beer in a lot of ways to what Dogfish Head uses for their pumpkin ale.
Okay.
Oh, cool. So it's got a little bit of roastiness to it. It's got a lot of amber malts to it.
Yeah.
And it's going to, when you taste it, you'll see, you can picture with pumpkin spice.
Okay.
It's going to be great. So we're going to do a couple kegs of that.
Awesome.
And that's going to be coming out the 28th of this month.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
I love it, man. I love that stuff.
I will.
I
tell
love
you,
pumpkin spice beer. I love pumpkin spice beer.
I'm really, Matt. I'm really glad to hear you say that, man.
Yeah.
Because I got
Us men got to stick together. And I like the pumpkin.
It feels like there's a bit of like this anti-pumpkin beer sort of rhetoric out there among the people.
Fuck them. It's good shit.
It's good
saying,
stuff,
man.
dude.
You know,
so
it's fun to celebrate fall. Okay.
Most of our beers have either a science fiction theme or an astronomy theme for the name. So I was going to call this beer the Basic White Dwarf.
Oh, I love that. It's so true, though. It's so spot on.
I love, dude. You know what? And your brewery, and just so the people who don't follow you on Instagram, and by the way, please do. Please follow Astronomy Aleworks on Instagram and Facebook.
Astronomy Aleworks on Instagram.
Yeah,
and Facebook.
It's at Astronomy Aleworks, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole way through. Okay.
You'll get three new likes from our parents.
That's right.
We
got this. My mom will be following you soon.
Outstanding.
But look, I mean, your Instagram is hilarious. It's almost always Star Wars themed, or astronomy themed, or some sort of sci-fi. It's just fun. It's fun to look at.
It is, yeah.
So like I enjoy it, and it almost always makes me want a beer. So so it's like instant happy hour, which is always a nice thing.
See, and I wish everybody wishes COVID hadn't happened, but what I really miss, was talking about the science fiction and the science part. We used to work with this group out of UNLV called Astronomy on Tap, and they would come to the brewery and do lectures. So you'd have university students, doctors, doctorate candidates come in and give us real lectures on astronomy. So we had a doctor come in here and give a lecture on black holes and collisions between neutron stars. We had doctors from the University of Copenhagen share with us their research from the Deep Field Hubble Space Telescope in my fucking brewery.
That
was so cool.
That's crazy, man.
In our place here, we open up to the big one or into the back and put all the tables here because this is going to be big. We actually had a piece of Mars in our brewery.
No
They come up
way.
and touch a piece of Mars. We had 4.5 billion year old meteorites from the creation of our solar system in our brewery. And people will walk up and touch and drink beer and talk science. It was the coolest thing ever.
That is wild. Way cool.
Absolutely wild. Now, what a way to theme something that actually inspires you too. I mean, how cool is that?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's like you have beer, which is obviously like what your main focus is, but now you're actually bringing in the things that sort of
I'm a science nerd. I'm a science fiction nerd, and I'm a beer nerd.
Oh, cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
All day.
Double down
Cheers.
on the cheers, man.
Yes.
For shizzle.
This is great. I love this. Hey, quick question for you though, Matt. Do you like the weird stuff? Like, your mango habanero, like spicy beer? Like, do you like that weird stuff, or are you kind of more classic?
The answer is yes.
Okay. I like that.
there
No,
we
I
go.
love that answer. It's so
I told
perfect.
you my favorite brew that I make is the Kolsch Ale. Yeah, but I just took off the habanero pale ale with pineapple. One of my fastest selling beers ever is, okay, so check this out. Well, we're brewing test batches. I'm getting into brewing test batches for this place. I want to brew American-style Hefeweizen like Pyramid, my favorite beer ever. But I'm thinking about changing yeast on it because when you're a small brewer, you can buy whatever yeast, whatever. When you become a big brewer, you have other concerns. So I'm like, all right, I want to try it with a more popular yeast. I'm going to make this beer. Home brewing takes forever. It's actually way easier to brew on a big system than it is a small system.
Oh, geez,
it costs it costs $1 million to get this done, but it's way easier. So you brew on the small system. It takes 100-degree heat out there. It takes forever to make this beer. Then you condition it. Then you do all this, and you pull your first sip, and you go, "Yeah, this works." So now I've got
all of the energy.
Yeah. So now I've got 10 gallons of beer I don't really need because all I need to take one sip to go, "Yeah, it works." Geez. I was like, all right, I'm going to do something stupid with this beer. I'm going to do something just stupid. How about I've never done a pepper beer, so I'm going to get some habanero. And I'm looking at my kitchen, I'm like, vanilla. Habanero vanilla. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I'm going to do habanero vanilla. I put the habaneros in. I put the vanilla into the keg. I let it sit, drank it. I was like, this is actually really good. I gave it to a whole bunch of people. This is really good. Fastest selling beer I've ever had. Habanero, vanilla, Hefeweizen, the Helios. I don't put it out all the time because it's the McRib. If the McRib were out 100% of the time, nobody would want it.
Oh, totally.
It's like Arby's.
Yeah.
It's like Arby's, yeah. So you put out the McRib every now and then. Now everybody wants it.
That's
so
awesome,
habanero, vanilla, Hefeweizen, amazing. So am I into the weird shit? Absolutely. Do I like my core styles? Yes, I love my core styles too.
One of my favorite things about the Las Vegas Booze District, for the people who are listening outside of Las Vegas, it's the most unassuming place that you would ever see in your entire life. If you're looking for the 3 best breweries in Las Vegas, and I'm not saying like, look, there are other good breweries, but 3 of the main breweries in Las Vegas are right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's in a business park.
I'm telling you, this is one of the best places to go. You come
so wild.
Right. It's unassuming. It's off the beaten path. Warm Springs is a big thing. We got 215, but you come down here, you got 3 breweries. They're all different. There's a winery right over there. Yep. They make the one of the 2 ciders produced in the entire valley, and it's all within short walking distance.
Yeah, dude, and that distillery.
And the distillery. So you can't go and get a drink of the distillery, but you can sure shit go buy a bottle of alcohol, and it's good stuff.
So Matt, I have one other question for you, and then we actually got to get into the fear side of this, which is going to be an interesting round this time around.
Yeah, I'm excited to it.
So Yuengling is coming to Las Vegas. I'm sure you've heard this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Derek and I probably have opposing views on this, by the way. But so Yuengling's coming to town, America's oldest brewery. A lot of people are excited about this. Now, not only is Yuengling coming to town, but they're also doing a flavored Yuengling stout with Hershey's chocolate. Yeah, did you see that?
I did.
Now, first, two-part question. Do you like Yuengling? And then secondly, what do you think about that kind of partnership?
Okay, so do I like Yuengling? Where are you from originally?
San Diego.
Okay, so is In-N-Out the best burger in the world?
No, absolutely not. Is
it fucking overrated?
Yes, absolutely.
Every region has their overrated something. Here, it's In-N-Out. From where I'm from, Dick's Burgers. From back east, it's White Castle. Yuengling is that beer. There's not one damn thing wrong with Yuengling.
I'm high-fiving you virtually right now. There's
not one damn thing wong with Yuengling. On the other hand, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the here-all and end-all. Yeah. If everybody could have it, nobody would care. But it's that thing out there you can't get. Yeah. So when you go out there, they drink it, but they're not like, oh my God, we love Yuengling. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm so happy I can drink Yuengling every day. They're not like that. They're just like, it's Yuengling, whatever. Out here, like, oh my God, how can you have this beer? It's so good. It's not bad. It's good. It's good beer. It's great beer. They're a fantastic brewery. So on the second part, partnering with Hershey's, that's awesome. The weird part is now they're partnering with, I want to say, Miller Coors to brew their beer. That's the only reason we're getting it, because they have partnered with Miller Coors to brew their beer at other places so that the entire nation can get their beer. The Hershey's thing, I mean, again, somebody hands it to me, I'll drink it.
Yeah,
kidding me?
Sure.
I'll drink the shit out of that.
Well, that was the thing.
It's probably delicious.
Yeah.
Well, look, I went to the East Coast a couple of times for my job, and everyone's like, oh my God, you got to have this Yuengling. It's so good. I was like, well, what kind of beer is it? And I think it's a Pilsner. Or is it a lager?
It's a lager. I mean, Pilsners are lagers. I don't think it's a Pilsner lager. It's just an American lager.
Yeah.
You know?
So I told them, I was like, look, I'm from the West Coast. I like IPAs. That's just like my thing. That's what I gravitate towards. So I probably won't. And they're like, no, trust me. You're going to like you're going to like it. And I was like, I don't think I will, but whatever. And then I had it and I was like, yeah, it's a fucking lager. I mean, whatever.
It's a good beer. It's a very good basic beer. It's nothing to write home about in terms of, but again, it's because you can't get it out here. Everybody wants it. So hold on a second. I'm going to go get a pint of the next beer. I'll be right back. So talk amongst yourselves. Here's the topic. The Roman Empire was neither Roman nor an empire.
Yes, thank you. All right, and we're back, folks.
So tell us a little bit about this beer, Matt.
So this is the
next
Get Your
one.
Ass to Marzen. It's a Marzen style lager. It started out before we opened a brewery. The company my girlfriend works for, they said, "Hey, we're doing an Oktoberfest party. Can you brew us Oktoberfest beer in 3 weeks?" No.
In 3 weeks?
Wow.
Yeah.
my
So I was like, no,
Wow.
but I can make you an ale that kind of tastes like an Oktoberfest. So I did, and it was really good. And so when we opened, it was literally the first beer that we brewed, the Mars Red Ale. So like I was telling you earlier, when we got some lager yeast, Mars Red Ale became our Marzen, and it was called Get Your Ass to Marzen because it's a play on Total Recall, Get Your Ass to Mars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so this is our Oktoberfest beer. It's available a few places around the city right now. Like it's on 595. It's on at Hardway
place.
8. I'm not sure the other places that carry it yet.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Matt, thank you for
Yeah.
the beer.
Thank you very much.
This is
I'm excited because I like darker beers like this. I'm a big red fan. Like I love that stuff. This is
this is
fantastic.
a lot of malts in this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a very malt forward beer.
Oh boy, that is good. Wait, so this is a lager?
Yeah, it's the lager.
Boom.
Okay, so this would count as well. Okay, so let me ask you this, because again, this is where my non-beer expertise comes into play.
Okay.
Okay, so like a lager just means any beer that's brewed below 32 degrees, right?
Not correct. No.
That's not correct.
So
okay.
every single beer in the world is defined by two categories: ale or lager.
Okay.
There are a couple that are somewhat hybrid styles, but either you're using ale yeast or you're using lager yeast. Period, outright.
Okay.
So this is a lager beer. Now,
Okay, wow.
lager is a German word meaning to store. And what people did was they put their beer into casks, throw it in a cave at 55 degrees, which is where it's at, and it would ferment. So this is an interesting thing. You probably, I guess, don't know. If it weren't for humanity, there would be no lager yeast, because yeast likes to ferment things at around 70, 80 degrees. This is technically way too cold. So humanity forced yeast into a situation where it's, those strong yeast were like, yeah, cool, 50 degrees, I'm in it. And whatever would survive, you harvest in the next one, and selective breeding for yeast. And that's why you have lager yeast, because of humanity. If there were no humans, there would be no lager yeast.
That's crazy.
So
that lager yeast exists
legitimately
because of humanity. Yeast does not want to ferment at low temperatures. We made it. Kind of like, you wouldn't have dogs and breeds if it weren't for humanity. Same thing. We domesticated yeast and forced it into a thing that it didn't want to do.
Dang.
But lager simply means to store. That's all it means. So what you're doing is you're fermenting at a lower temperature, which takes longer, and then you basically let it sit at cold temperature to think about its life and question its own decisions. And then it becomes a great beer.
It really gets to know itself.
It does.
Really gets to know
it
itself.
understands itself really well.
An ale yeast, man, that's the Demi Lovato of beers, man. This thing right here, these are the deep thinker beers.
I like it.
This is the Bill Nye the Science Guy of beers.
Yeah, sure. I like it. But like from a flavor profile, what's the difference? I mean, what's the difference in a lager and an ale? Do you get anything different?
Lagers are crisper and cleaner on the whole.
Yeah.
They taste crisper and cleaner. That's the best way to put it. It isn't an ineffable difference.
Yeah.
But the difference isn't huge.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to call you on the show as like our expert, basically every week.
Fair enough. Man,
even if we have like our 5-minute Matt segment, like, what did you think you knew?
Ask a brewer.
Ask a brewer. I like that. That'd be a good little game.
Matt is our guy.
I love it.
You think you know beer, but you don't know shit. Let's ask Matt. Because literally, I mean, like, so here's my stupidity and my total ignorance, Matt.
His
like
stupidity.
See, I mean, it works out. It works out well. So okay. So, I mean, I use the terms lager and pilsner interchangeably, and that's clearly not the case.
No,
right?
they're
That's
they're not.
Totally not interchangeable.
I'll put it this way: all pilsners are lagers. Not all lagers are pilsners.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
Yep.
So actually, and this is my fault because I'm the one who relayed this to you. But the question that you asked was, how does Stu find a lager that he likes? Well, actually, Stu probably has many lagers that he
You
likes.
probably do. So that's
But
the thing.
I don't have
There's
any
a bunch you don't even know
Pilsners.
that are lagers.
Yeah, and
Do you like
and
any Oktoberfest beer? They're all lagers.
not really. Well, right.
Oh, okay,
But
well there
there's-
you go.
But even Oktoberfest, yeah, I'm not down on. So like Stone, which is one
Do you
of my
like Sam
favorite
Adams?
breweries.
Just the basic Sam Adams?
Yeah, I do like Sam Adams.
That's a
Like
lager.
So okay,
That's
so
a lager.
I can dig
Yeah.
that lager.
There you go.
So do we have to rephrase the question for you?
The
then for
question is
Pilsner?
actually Pilsner. The problem is Pilsner.
Do you find a Pilsner that you would like? Okay, well that's tougher. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
No,
right, so try to freak me out. You want to talk about fear? Try to freak me
yes,
out.
we got to freak you out because we only have a couple more minutes. You're a busy man. You got to make good beer that we're
Yeah.
going to be drinking within the next
We can't hold 'em
hopefully
up
few
on that.
weeks. So let me just preface this to the audience. Matt was not willing to share any fears with us, which is fine. He's a bold man.
I don't have
Yeah.
a lot of fears.
So we're gonna play a little game.
What can Matt be afraid of? What can we freak him out with? All right, so we're gonna start easy. Okay, we're gonna start with the basics. We're gonna start with something that your neighbor at Craft House Brewing is afraid of, because Wendy is also a friend of the show. She's been on, and her fear
Dwarfs.
was
No, I'm kidding.
Derek. You don't need to like superimpose your fear on these people. Okay. Now we're starting to get a clearer view of what Derek's actual fears are. Wendy's fear was clowns.
Yeah, I don't fear clowns.
Okay.
Not in the slightest.
Okay.
Okay.
Derek, your turn.
All right, Matt.
Freak him out.
So
Freak him out.
I'm gonna go with something I'm afraid of: sleep paralysis, night terrors.
No.
You're going
no.
No. Okay.
Sleep paralysis, no. I've had some sleep paralysis. Didn't freak me out that much.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're still at 0-0, Derek. And we only have a couple more rounds.
Doing 5.
So whoever wins, we'll see. I'm going to go high level. All right. And you got to be honest here, okay?
Sure. Absolutely.
You live in the desert. This freaks everyone out, in my opinion.
Oh boy.
Scorpions.
Okay, check this shit out. I thought you were going to say scorpions. I've never seen a fucking scorpion since I've lived here.
What?
I've
Me
lived here
neither.
I've lived here
But I'm just
17.
saying.
I've lived here 17 years. I've got a scorpion story right down the street. Is where I used to work at FedEx forever, and somebody saw a scorpion and they called out there was a scorpion on the belt. We're like, "There's a scorpion on the belt." Yeah, we took it. I've never seen a scorpion alive in Vegas in 17 years. I want to see a scorpion. Now, yes, a scorpion would freak me the fuck out.
Okay, I'm going to take a
It-
half a
well,
point
no,
on
I
that.
take.
I'm
Hold
taking
on,
a
I
half
take
a
it. I
point.
take it back. In the middle of my brewery right here, big wide open space. Scorpion crawls across. It wouldn't freak me out. I'd be like, okay, I need to kill that scorpion. If I have a shoe over there and I pick up my shoe and a scorpion falls out, yes, that would freak me the fuck out.
It's all about
But
context.
I have
I'm taking a
not
half a
seen
point.
a scorpion. Yeah, that's a half a point. That's
That
half
is
a
a
point.
point. I'll
I'm
give
taking
you
a
that.
half a point.
All right, Matt. Are you afraid of Donald Trump?
Oh, shit.
Afraid? No, I'm afraid of his followers.
Okay. All right.
That sounds like a half a point. That sounds like a
That's a
half
half
a
a point.
point.
That's a half a point.
Okay.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid of his followers. I'm not afraid of him. He can't do shit.
Okay.
He's an old man, but I'm afraid of his followers. You're absolutely right.
All right.
That's
I
half
like
a
it.
point.
Cool.
So it's half.
Great question. Great answer. We're tied. Okay. Lightning round. Here we go.
This is it. This is the last
This
one.
is the last question for
Point.
both of us. Okay. Wait, I started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Matt, are you afraid of a really bad beer?
No. Here's the thing. Like, I'll usually choke down a really bad beer. Okay. So
I
could
love
think-
that.
I could think
I'm
of,
out.
I could think of 2 beers in the last 15 years that I didn't finish. One of which was at 777 after Matt Marino left. They had this guy named Kenji Brew, and it was fucking horrible. He was a nice guy. He went to UC Davis, but I couldn't finish that fucking beer. The other beer I couldn't finish is actually from a huge brewery, Stone. Stone, I love
shit.
their Russian Imperial Stout, which they call an Imperial Russian Stout, just so that the initialism is IRS, not RIS. I love Belgian beer. I love black licorice. They did a Belgo Anise Russian Imperial Stout. I thought this shit was going to be fucking awesome. It was 10.5%. I took one sip. It was terrible. I would have finished the beer, but it was the first beer of the day, And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get drunk drinking this horrible beer. If it had been 5%, I would have finished it. If it had been the last beer of the day, I would have chugged it.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 beers in the last like decade I wouldn't finish. Even if it's bad, I can choke it down.
Dude,
I'm not afraid of a bad beer.
All right. You know what? That was a hell of an answer. I'm not even mad about being wrong.
No.
That's okay. Go ahead, Derek. Last question. This is your chance. You could win. You could win.
So I'm going to go a little deep with this, I think.
Boy.
All right. Are you afraid of where our kids, like, you know, like when we have kids, that generation, where that generation is headed, like where humanity is headed?
No, because I don't have kids, so fuck them.
Okay. All right.
We tied.
All right.
We tied.
All right. I like that. That's
Fuck
a good
yeah.
answer. Cool. Okay.
Our first
You
ever
could have
lightning
won with
round.
heights. It's very simple, actually.
Fucking
Oh,
heights.
man.
Fucking heights.
See,
God damn
dang
it.
No, but I'm not afraid of what's going on with the next generation, although they are fucked.
They-
I don't
yeah,
have a next
no,
generation. I'm not going to have kids.
True.
My girlfriend and I, we're not having children. So if I
It
had
makes it easy.
kids, yes, I'd be horribly afraid for them.
Gotcha.
But I don't have kids, so I don't have skin in the game. So I don't tell people how to raise their children because I don't
Yep.
have any. I don't tell them, oh, yeah, you guys are screwed because it's not my problem. But if I did have kids,
Yeah.
yes, I would be horribly afraid.
Ooh,
You know what, Derek?
I feel like that's a half a point.
No, you know what? I'm going to give you a 0.1. But
Okay,
that still
perfect.
means
But that still gives them the lead.
that
That
still
gives
means
them
a
the lead.
win.
Still gives them the lead.
Beautiful. Well,
Cheers.
thank you, Matt.
Matt, dude, I can't
Absolutely,
say
guys.
thank you enough. That was incredible. You taught me a fucking shit ton. I don't know
Seriously.
about you.
It's the most I've learned about beer in, I mean,
So,
a long time.
I hope you don't mind if we contact you way too frequently
Yeah.
over the next few months.
Got my email.
Yeah,
You got my phone.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. A lot of people do.
dude,
Happy to answer questions.
you are the man. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank you, Matt.
Great beer, really awesome. By the way, please follow Astronomy Aleworks on
At-
Instagram. At Astronomy Aleworks.
You know what's the
Astronomy
even
Aleworks.
better thing to do?
What?
Come to my fucking
Oh,
brewery.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, whenever you come into Vegas, if you're listening from outside of Las
Come to my
Vegas,
brewery. Drink my beer.
go to the brewery. What's the address of your brewery?
7350 Eastgate, Suite 170. But
Perfect.
if you already know where Craft House and Bad Beat are, we're in the same parking lot.
Beautiful.
There you go, baby.
Go visit.
That's the guy.
Thanks, Matt.
Cheers.
Matt,
You're
thank
the
you
man.
so much, man. Cheers.